All right, guys, we are on. All right, guys, welcome to Flav Oriana's MMA show. I'm your host, Flav Oriana, brought to you by Four Corner Sports. All right, guys, so you guys read the header, TJ Dillashaw's path to a title shot. Well, why are we talking about TJ Dillashaw? How come we're not talking about the fights that just got announced by, by the UFC? Well, that'll be for a separate video. That'll be for a separate audio. But without further ado, I think it's very important to talk about TJ Dillashaw because of the fact that on March 6th, the UFC is going to be having the bantamweight title on the line. All right, and the UFC bantamweight title is going to be on the line against champion is Peter Yan. It's going to be facing the number one contender, which is Aljamain Sterling. All right. Shout out to Strong Island, Long Island. But the reason why it's so important because that title, even though there's going to be two people in that octagon, it's really four people that are really going to be affected, on March 6th. Because you have Peter Yan being the champion. He's going to face Aljamain Sterling. Obviously, you could probably put two and two together on who might be the third person that's going to be heavily involved. TJ Dillashaw, right? He wants a title shot. He felt like, him being stripped of the title because of the fact that he ended up testing positive for EPOs when he ended up going down to 125 to face Henry Cejudo in that great card of UFC Brooklyn. That was the first show that the UFC, was under ESPN. Possibly the best thing that could have ever happened because everybody knows what ESPN is the worldwide leader, and I'm not gonna really go too much involved into it, but having the UFC fights on ESPN is just so much more accessible. It allows more fans, casual fans, to turn into hardcore fans, and plus everybody watches ESPN. All right, if something's gonna be on ESPN, it's a big deal. But anyways, it's gonna involve Peter Yan. Is gonna involve Aljamain Sterling. It's also gonna involve TJ Dillashaw. The fourth person that this title shot is gonna really involve, even though Dillashaw is not gonna be in it, along with this person I'm about to mention, is Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen is clearly the number one contender after March 6th. All right. The reason why I say that is because knocked out Marlon Moraes with that spinning heel kick. Flying knee to Frankie Edgar, put him out cold. That was very scary to watch, right? He was out cold like a light. And Corey Sandhagen, he has said in an interview that he is willing to take a fight against TJ Dillashaw just so he doesn't have to jump the line. Now, that says a lot about a man right there because he is that confident in himself that he's willing to give up his number one contender spot to fight a person that's not even ranked. Sure, was suspended for 2 years, but he's not even currently ranked. Now, in my opinion, this whole ranking system is all total BS just because I understand why they have it out there. The ranking system is put out there so the viewers, the fans are able to understand, like, okay, this person's ranked number one, so they should be able to have a title shot, with a win or whatever, or next. And person, that's ranked number 15, they're gonna have to at least have anywhere between two to 4 wins to get closer to getting a title shot. But TJ Dillashaw wants to jump the line, and Corey Sandhagen's like, you know what? Nah. I'd rather fight you knowing that if I beat you, you're not going to get a title shot. So what is going to be the perfect pathway for TJ Dillashaw to get a title fight? Well, in my opinion, he's really going to need to have Peter Yan win on March 6th. And here's why. Peter Yan became the champion after Henry Cejudo retired. Henry Cejudo claimed a vacant title that TJ Dillashaw was stripped of. And he what's it called? So you're gonna have Cejudo claiming the vacant title from TJ Dillashaw, right? After Dillashaw was stripped because of EPOs. Cejudo retires. Peter Yan claims the vacant title from Henry Cejudo. So people are still claiming that Peter Yan is a paper champ. He never beat anybody to get the belt. If Aljamain Sterling, fights, Peter. Well, he's gonna fight Peter Yan. If Aljamain Sterling beats Peter Yan, then you're gonna have to ask yourself this: who is he gonna fight next? Well, the most logical choice right there would have to be Corey Sandhagen, right? That's the rematch right there. Called him out, said that he wants to, he wants his revenge. That may make more sense. So that's gonna push Dillashaw back. If Peter Yan wins, then there's a little bit more discussion to be had, because think about it. You have Corey Sandhagen, who's never faced Peter Yan, right? Then you're gonna have Dillashaw, who had called out Peter Yan. There's that feud over there. He has his belt. He never lost the belt. Yada yada yada. The perfect pathway for TJ Dillashaw to have a title shot is this. And I don't think he gets a title shot immediately. I think first, Peter Yan wins, right? I have a feeling that he's going to end up winning. And I'm only bringing you this scenario because of the fact that this is what's going to be needed for Dillashaw to have the title shot. So, if Peter Yan wins, fine. He beats Aljamain Sterling. Then he gets Corey Sandhagen next, right? Dillashaw is going to need to, and this is the perfect timing, only reason why, because both fighters are unranked, have him and Uriah Faber fight on a pay-per-view card, 3 rounds. I don't want to see it on a fight night. I don't want a fight night to be wasted for something like that. I'd rather that be put on a pay-per-view. Dillashaw versus Uriah Faber. Obviously, you guys know that war, that rivalry that they have one another. You beat up Faber, right? Then you move on to Cody Garbrandt. Because you know that feud over there. Dillashaw has beaten up Garbrandt for the title. All right, I believe he's 2-0 over Garbrandt. You face Garbrandt, bam, you knock that scenario out of the way. Reason why I'm saying Garbrandt is because Garbrandt, after him knocking out Rafael Assunção last June, right, he was immediately put into a title picture at 125. You beat up Garbrandt, bam, that puts him back on the bottom of the list right over there. And at that point, if Peter Yan versus Corey Sandhagen is still in the mix right there, whoever wins that fight is going to face TJ Dillashaw. And that would be the best scenario for Dillashaw to get a title shot if Peter Yan wins, right? If Sterling wins, then it becomes a little bit more complicated, because then Sterling automatically is going to fight Corey Sandhagen. You could still run the Uriah Faber Dillashaw fight, or you could put the Cody Garbrandt Dillashaw fight. I love either one of them. In my personal preference, I want to see Faber Garbrandt, and then Sandhagen, or whatever, But I really want to see Dillashaw fight Uriah Faber. But Sterling wins. Sterling's gonna fight, Corey Sandhagen next. Then you could put, for Dillashaw's sake, to get back to the title shot, put him against Faber or Garbrandt, one or the other, or both, right? But if it's gonna be both, it has to be Faber then Garbrandt. And then third, then it'll be the championship picture. That would be the best possible scenario. But if you're gonna have Garbrandt, in there, just for heaven's sakes, then you're gonna have just Dillashaw fight Garbrandt and then the title shot. Either way, I just feel like this is the direction that the UFC bantamweight division is heading towards. Dillashaw is definitely gonna get a title shot. I most certainly believe that he'll be able to piece up Uriah Faber. Do I think he'll be able to piece up Cody Garbrandt? I believe so. I think Cody Garbrandt is still gonna have some type of fear towards Dillashaw because he has put him out before. But I would really want to see Sandhagen versus Dillashaw. Those guys were two former training partners. I just want to see what happens. Always, we always love the drama that comes along on fight week, the stories that were being told at fight camps when two individuals were sparring and stuff like that. We love that type of stuff, especially from two people that are gonna face one another. But Dillashaw is gonna get a title shot. I certainly do believe he's gonna get a title shot no later than 2022. That's just the way I see it. TJ Dillashaw going to be competing for a title, world title at 135 in 2022. All right, guys, that is all. Thank you for tuning in. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace, guys. Have a good one.